what happened is that Bobi Wine, who's the opposition leader against Museveni, who's been a long time dictator and sort of puppet leader for U.S. interests in Uganda, but he's been facing his stiffest competition for some time here with Bobi Wine and a sort of socialist party in opposition against him. And Bobi Wine has definitely dressed himself up in a very communist aesthetic and a very Thomas Sankara aesthetic as well. And a lot of us on the left and the West and just overall in the world, I mean, the global South as well, we saw solidarity with the movement against Museveni in Uganda. We saw solidarity with Bobi Wine as the leader of that movement because he was saying a lot of the right things, and he was clearly a target of their oppression. Now, if you remember weeks ago, I forget when I talked about this, about how the U.S. diplomat in Uganda was actually trying to visit Bobi Wine and was not allowed to by Museveni, right? I didn't know what to chalk that up to directly, to be quite honest. I don't know if that was a good sign or if that was a sign of attempted co-option by the U.S. government of Bobi Wine, who is clearly going to be the next guy to lead Uganda in the next few years. And it seems like that U.S. diplomat did eventually meet with Bobi Wine because clearly they have made some sort of deal. Bobi Wine had a Zoom meeting with, I talked about earlier, the puppet coup attempter, Juan Guaido, saying that he's the president of Venezuela and synergies of defensive democratic principles and human rights across the globe, blah, 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 blah. Again, clearly, like, there's no other way to put it. Like, Bobi Wine has been co-opted by the U.S. government in some fashion. I don't want to say that because he and the people of Uganda are still facing massive persecution by Museveni and the state there. But it does clearly seem at this point in time, this is the smoking gun in some fashion, that the U.S. government has decided Bobi Wine will be the successor to Museveni and we will support him. But you have to support our leaders around the world when we want to overthrow governments. That's what we see here. And it's a gross co-option of the Ugandan liberation movement. It's just so sad, man. I don't know how. Honestly, like this really like made me depressed all day. I really didn't want to talk about it because like we all saw here. Like I talked about it, like every time we had a show, I talked about Uganda for a reason. I felt like it was extremely important. I felt like Bobi Wine represented something that was extremely important, and just throwing that away for whatever promises the U.S. State Department gave him. Sad, man. It's really, really sad.